So yesterday, for your warm-up, you actually answered some of these questions, right? Talking about being connected with your family, patterns that maybe you notice about technology use, and just all about connectedness. So that's kind of what we're doing today. We are talking about connectedness and technology use and how it can either help you feel connected or help you feel disconnected. And so first I kind of want us to get a baseline when I say technology, what do I mean? Because you guys are pretty young, 5th graders, and you probably don't use AI, artificial intelligence, as much as older kids do. Because a lot of the things, ChatGPT, Magic School, you have to use with the help of a teacher and stuff. So you're not really using that. But actually, anytime you go to Google, anytime you're researching something, you are using some types of AI, artificial intelligence. Do your parents ever use GPS to get to places?
Yeah.
That's using satellites and AI. So when I'm talking about technology, what's the biggest piece of technology you use here at school? The iPad, okay? What are some technology things you use at home or outside of school? Okay, phone. Logan?
My iPad.
Okay, do you use it for games, like gaming? Do you have a Nintendo Switch or any other kind of gaming systems? You have a Nintendo Switch? You have a laptop?
Xbox.
Oh, you do have an Xbox? Okay.
And a Nintendo.
I have like a Cricut machine that I craft, but I need a laptop.
Oh,
Like, oh, does she have Cricut too?
It's like something and you put your phone in it and whatever picture you have, it turns it and you like can draw it on a piece of paper.
Oh, that's cool. What about TV? Do y'all do that anymore?
Yeah.
TV. So just to give us a little baseline, I'm talking technology, I'm talking all of these kinds of things, okay? But what we are going to do as an activity is we're going to be mapping our connectivity, our connections with others. And our goal, this is kind of our lesson for today, our goal is to increase awareness of the moments when we feel most and least connected to others, friends, family, community outside of here. And so what I want you to do real quick is I want you just somewhere in this open space to list your core classes and your electives real quick. So just kind of off to the side, what do you have first? You have ELA, social studies, science.
Can we do EL for the essential literacy?
Yeah, that works. EL. Jim. Because what we are going to be doing and talking about connection is really in real life connection. And so the reason I had you list your classes is because typically Monday through Friday, you are here at school 7 hours a day. You're here most of your day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I want you to put a star next to the 2 classes where you use technology the least. I'm talking the teacher makes you work in groups. They make you turn and talk to people. You're reading real books. You're not on an iPad. So put a star next to the 2 classes where you feel like you are connecting to other people your age the most because you are not staring at an iPad or staring at a smart board, right? That's another piece of technology. I don't even use a smart board in here, do I? So we don't hardly ever use the iPad. Well, we do sometimes, yeah. Exactly. So just the first 2 classes that kind of jumped into your mind where you feel like you're working in groups a whole lot, you're getting up and moving around, you're not really dependent on technology. You are connecting with other people in the class, the top 2 classes. I just felt like it would be easier to do the top 2. Because today we are going to map out these feelings of connection and explore how technology might be sort of influencing these moments of us connecting to each other, okay? And so just to kind of get us like a baseline, we talked about, again, look at our goal. It said when we feel most connected to others, friends, family, and community. And so I just want to show you my map first, And what I did first was I just kind of thought about when I feel the most connected to friends, family, community. I wrote up here, my family is my husband, Alex, me, and then my 2 kids, right, Bodie and Blair. I put friends down here because I was just kind of trying to think of like friends and what I sort of do on a typical day. That's what you're thinking of. On a typical day, when do you feel most connected to others? When do you feel least connected? So just kind of take a minute to think about that. When do you feel like the most connected? When do you feel least connected? You all have something to write with, right? You didn't think you were going to get to do math in literacy today, but it's kind of fun. This is a graph. Does anyone remember? You don't have to know the answer because this isn't math class, but do you remember what this axis is called? The X or the Y, up and down.
The Y.
Yeah, X is horizontal, Y is vertical. So basically it's showing you that from left to right is like the time of day, from the time you wake up till the time you fall asleep. So this bottom line represents a whole day, wake up to sleep. And then from bottom to top, you're going, it says how connected you feel to others. So low connection to you feel really connected to someone, right? So I'm gonna give you each a green little marker to start. Well, do you wanna do it in pencil first? And maybe I'll just kind of show you. Because I went ahead and I went and drew like a line about halfway through, and I wrote noon to kind of help me out. Like morning, noon, like afternoon to night. So if you want to do that, you can do that right now with your pencil. Right here, just kind of about halfway through, I just drew a little line and I put noon to kind of help me, like middle of the day-ish. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? We're not adding little tally marks or anything like that. But I just started thinking about times in my day when I felt the most connected. So I thought, okay, when I first wake up, you might think like, oh, I'm with all of my family, we feel really connected. But I put a little star. Is this low or high connection feeling? It's pretty low, right? It's not super high up here. It's not the lowest. But I wrote that I feel kind of rushed to get out the door and get kids dressed and everything. It doesn't really feel like super connected, right? Like, yes, we're all together, but we're not really making connections. We're not having fun. We're kind of rushed. So that's why I put it not super high. Then I kind of said like I'm teaching and checking emails. I am using tech during this whole morning time. And look, did my next point go up or down?
Up. Well, a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely felt up because my next point where I felt kind of connected to somebody was I usually have lunch with Coach Kearns. And usually we're not really on phones. We're just kind of like talking. His kids and my kids are friends. He just played golf last night with my husband. So like we're friends. So we usually have lunch together. So that was kind of like a little bit higher. Then I put a note, a little asterisk all the way up here. Is that high or low?
High.
Super high. And I wrote seeing my kids after school and talking, smiley face. I kind of went down a little bit, even though they're like right on top of each other. We always do highs and lows at dinner time. When we have dinner, we talk about our highs and lows. And then we usually try games, no phones, no tech. So it kind of went down a little bit more. And then look, bing, bing. I had some sort of low points. Sometimes I do mindlessly scroll on my phone. And I'm not really talking to my husband. This is like after the kids go to bed. So I put my like low star because I said if I'm on my phone and not talking to Alex before bed, I don't feel very connected. Does that make sense? So I want you to take your pencil right now and I just want you to make 2 stars. I want you to think of a time when you feel really connected to people, your people, whether it's friends, family, whatever, and I want you to make 1 star. And then I want you to think of another time in your day from the time you wake up till the time you fall asleep where you don't feel super connected and put it somewhere on the map, okay? It could be anywhere like this. I think I kind of started with when I fall asleep, when I kind of know I'm just sort of like doing my own thing and not with my husband and stuff. So take a minute and just pick 2. Pick a high and a low for right now on your graph. might help to think about the class that you thought of being like the most connected, where you are working with friends and up and talking, or recess, or PA, lunch. Maybe that's your most connected feeling, because it could be connection with friends or family. I know as middle schoolers, sometimes you feel a lot more connected with your friends than you do with your own parents and stuff, right? Do a quick little jot, quick little note like I did. What does that little star represent, kind of like I did? Who were you with? What were you doing at that little moment? Sometimes the technology can make us not feel connected to someone. If you are just laying in bed on your phone and mindlessly scrolling, you're not really connecting to anybody in real life. I want you to think of maybe if there is the opposite, if you guys as a family do sit around the TV and like watch your favorite sports together, maybe that would be connection. I just thought of something and I'm gonna add it to my graph, because last night we FaceTimed my mom and dad, their Gigi and Papa, to my kids. So that was kind of like higher up on the connected, where I used technology to feel more connected rather than this like mindless scrolling, these little stars down here. So try to add a couple more, kind of like you see on mine. Try to make note of if there's technology being used at that time.
You have to draw the little lines.
You don't have to draw lines.
I don't want to.
You can, yeah. I started doing that too, just to kind of see how my day was, and then now I've kind of gone all over the place. So it's totally fine if yours is all over the place like mine. So make a note here on when you scored high. Where were you? What were you thinking here? Was that a specific class? Are you using technology? Are you not using technology?
Does it have to be like in a school day?
No. I was just thinking of your typical day, and since you're here, okay, yeah, that's fine. Typical day. But I do want your notes or your little stars to include when you were using technology and what kind of technology you were using. So like I wrote here, I'm teaching, checking emails, FaceTime to Gigi and Papa. Lows right here would be like if I'm mindlessly scrolling and not talking to my husband.
It's very true.
Yeah.
I play games like board games with my family.
I love that, right? That board games with fam. Yeah, good job. So Claire says she has a phone. Do you have a phone? Logan, do you have a phone? Wow.
I do, but one of them's old, but one of them's now new.
Okay.
But I still use it.
Do you think that our graphs, all of ours, might look different pre-smartphones? Like 10, 15 years ago when people didn't have smartwatches and smartphones and all their phones could do was text and call people. Do you think these graphs would look a little different?
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
Because, like, back in the day, people probably didn't have that much technology, and they were just, like, talking on the phone, and so they would just spend, like, time together, and probably hear of it up in this area instead of down here. Because, like, they didn't
there would be more connection. What were you gonna say, Logan?
So basically, they wouldn't have like TVs like a long time ago, and they would only be playing like games and being outside.
Oh, that's a good one. Being outside, playing outside more. Yeah, for sure. If my 6-year-old was making this graph, his after school would have stars way up here because he spends 2-3 hours after school playing outside with his friends. We don't do any tech during the week, Monday through Thursday. No TV, no iPads, nothing.
That's insane.
I know. It's hard. He does not like it, but it's important.
I just got a free pen and I'm making like things for my mom and my grandma because they're both here and they read a lot, and I'm making bookmarks for them.
That's so cool.
And I gave
Yeah.
my grandma a bookmark since she was in Florida and goes for gators. I made a blue and green one,
That's
and
awesome.
my mom put it like a heart, and then I added to it.
Is this on like a program?
It's just
Like an Apple Pen, like you're drawing and creating? Yeah, I think creating with technology, that's a good point that Claire brings up. Like creating with technology versus just consuming, right? Just looking what other people are doing and look how creative these other people are instead of you sitting and like trying to create something yourself. Do you think there are certain apps that make us feel more connected? Like as I was sharing this with you, it did kind of pop into my head that I used FaceTime to be more connected with my parents who are 8 hours away in Ohio, right? So do you feel like there are other types of apps and technology that help you feel connected? What do you guys think?
a group chat with like.
Oh, do you have group chats?
Yeah,
Okay.
multiple people, and like you can talk about different things, and then like different.
Are you guys like messaging with words or do you do the audio?
I
Both
mainly do messaging with words.
with words.
I do audio.
What about you? How do you stay connected using technology?
I do FaceTime and then
Oh, you do?
sort out, and then while we're doing it, we're just playing video games with my friends.
So you're like online with video games and you're talking with the people that you're playing with. What are your favorites? Favorite video games?
Probably Roblox and Fortnite.
Okay. Nice. Good. Your graphs are looking really good. Do you think there are any apps or any kinds of technology that have negative impacts? Negative connections? Like it's not a good use?
Sometimes like just like the internet, like TikToks and Instagram. And
Like
stuff.
some things can be inappropriate or just you can go down a rabbit hole, I feel like. YouTube.
Like if you're not connecting with your family and like it's just a couch and people are just on their phones, you're not really connecting. You're just sitting there
Yeah.
on your phone.
We've had that moment before. I feel like every family has where you're like, you look up and all of a sudden you realize everybody's in their own world, on their own separate devices. You are not engaging with one another at all.
I
Yeah.
one time had to read, like everybody was on our couch and everybody had to read a book for like 15 minutes.
That's good. All right. Those graphs look really good. I love seeing those. Yeah, I kind of feel like your graphs look similar to mine, where it kind of starts off slow, and then obviously it kind of makes sense, especially if you graphed your typical school day. You're around more people, right? You're around more friends. There's more opportunities for connection. Seems like when you're by yourself, it's easier to escape into the world of technology, into doing something completely on your own. Well, here's what I was thinking. Because you already answered some of these reflection questions yesterday as your warm-up, I thought it would be kind of fun, since tomorrow starts your fall break, to do this fall break family connection agreement that you are going to take home and share with your parents, because you can take this graph home too. Mapping our connection helps us see how our feelings and relationships shift throughout the day, and how technology can, affect us. And it's not necessarily always good or always bad. It's just being aware that, hey, I have a lot of fun highest feeling of feeling connected when I'm doing board games and stuff with my family. There's nothing wrong with you using that 3D Apple Pen to create and do something really cool. There's nothing wrong with connecting with your friends with Fortnite and Roblox and talking to them and stuff and using technology in that way. It's more just like being aware. So take a look at this. Our goal, it says, is to spend fall break connecting, having fun, and being mindful of technology use. Step 1, I want you to answer these 2 questions. I feel most connected to my family when blank. Fill that in. I feel least connected when. If something pops into your head. Is there a time when you just kind of feel disconnected from your family? If you're ready to move on, step 2 says make a plan. One thing I will do over fall break to feel more connected with my family is to what? Are you going to ask, hey, can we play this board game right now? Are you going to say, hey, can we watch this movie tonight? Like, what can you do to feel more connected with your family? That's that first question. The second question under the make a plan says, one way that I will be mindful about technology to help our family connect is what? What's something that you're gonna do to be mindful about your own technology use? Maybe it's to just stay at the kitchen table a little bit longer instead of running upstairs to jump on Roblox or your iPad or your laptop. You know what I mean? Maybe it is to initiate. That's a fancy word. That's like, means to be the one to recommend a movie night or a game night. Initiate. Which is weird. It's a T-I. Initiate. Sometimes T-I says sh, right? Like an education. Initiate. You might want to use that word. Go ahead and answer step 2.
What if you're going on a vacation on fall break?
That's a really good question. Maybe instead of sitting on your device for your 8-hour car ride, you're gonna be like, let's play a game. Have you ever played the road sign game where you all compete and try to find signs that start with the letter A and then B and then C, D? My husband and I play that a lot. Maybe you're gonna initiate a car game, a road trip game, instead of only being on your phone or your device for the whole car ride.
What if you are in a plane?
Same thing. You can play a game. Maybe you're gonna bring some cards and play slapjack with your dad instead of just zoning out. Where are you going? Anywhere fun?
Florida.
Awesome. Okay. Think about it. Just think. Doesn't have to, like, just because you write it doesn't mean you have to do it. We're just trying to think, trying to brainstorm. And for the sake of time, we have a couple more minutes left. Step 3 says family commitment. So you're gonna sign this and then look, there's a spot for your family members, even Charlie, your siblings, to sign. As a family, we agree to try at least one of these ideas every day of fall break. There's a whole list of random ideas. Have dinner together with no devices. Play a board game. Go for a walk. So there's like a bunch of different ideas on here for family connection ideas. So you're going to take this agreement home. You're going to sign the bottom where it says student. And you're going to ask your family members to sign the bottom as well.
How are you supposed to play a board game on?
When you get to Florida, you silly goose. Do you think that you can at least try one of those every day as a family? Even if you have to be the ones to initiate a family walk.
We do this every day.
See? Yeah, so do we. Dinner with no devices.
Unless my-
Look, Logan, plan a movie night.
Unless my dad.
And each family member picks a snack. Look at that. Put a star next to that one. That's the one you're going to do.
Sometimes whenever I eat, like we eat dinner together, my dad always has to have the TV on with the news.
Oh, nice.
My dad.
All right, that was the bell. So please sign your name. I want to see everybody's signature. I got yours, Claire. Good job, Ava. You can take those home and that paper. And if your parents are coming to conferences tomorrow, I will see them. If not, have a great fall break, and I will see you in the halls.
I won't be coming because we're leaving on Wednesday.
Yeah. Good luck. Safe travels. Have fun.
I might, but I'm at my mom's work.
Yeah. It happens. All right, y'all did good. Thank you. Hopefully we got that all on. Oh yeah.